Welcome to Professor Rothwell, Dame Nancy. Congratulations, firstly, on winning the Times Higher Outstanding Achievement Award. You've now obviously joined the recent ranks of Dame Mary Beard and Dame Sarah Gilbert. And after such an illustrious career, how did it feel to win that award?
Oh, it was fantastic, a great honour. A surprise when I heard about it. Obviously, I did get a little bit of pre-warning, but really, really nice because quite a number of years ago, we won University of the Year. I think one of the first THE awards ceremonies, actually. So it was lovely, and to get so many messages from colleagues congratulating me was wonderful.
Excellent. Yes, it was a lovely event, and it was super on the night. In your speech, you spoke of how just over a decade ago, the university identified social responsibility as a third goal, equally important as teaching and learning and research. So what has been the impact of adding that goal to the university's main aims as you reflect on that 10 years now?
So a lot of what we do in social responsibility is within our research and teaching. It's making sure students are aware of global problems, that they have opportunities to contribute to society more widely. We have an award called Stellify, in which they contribute through volunteering and additional programs. A lot of our research is directed towards global challenges, whether that be climate change, health, inequality. But then we have a whole stream of events that come separately under social responsibility. And just to illustrate the importance we place on it, we have vice presidents. Some know them as pro-vice chancellors. We have one for teaching research, one teaching, one for research, and one for social responsibility. Every faculty, every school has a lead for social responsibility. It features through everything we do in terms of our goals, our assessment, our reporting, and it's been recognised in the THE Impact League table, where we were first in the UK this year, first in Europe, and second in the world, which we were delighted by, obviously. So I think it has had an impact. And I said, when we first started and there were no league tables, I was asked, how would we know if it had succeeded? And I said, well, some students and some staff will say they came to join us because of our commitment to social responsibility. And that has become true. And also that our local community, some of the poorest areas of Manchester, we'll talk about our university rather than the university, and that has now happened, and we have a citizens advice panel and lots of interactions with local communities. I could go on forever about social responsibility, but I'll stop there.
Fabulous. Thank you for that insight. That's really helpful. And actually, in your speech as well, you did speak about the incredibly positive impact that graduates have on society more generally, either that through their experience of volunteering, donation, less likely to commit crime. But you also touched on the need to increase student maintenance loan. Can you share a little bit about what you've seen in regards to the widening participation and student access participation plans in the face of minimal student funding support?
So students struggle, obviously. They've struggled really badly over the last year or two with very high inflation, and particularly those students from less advantaged backgrounds. We have a quarter of our students come from very disadvantaged backgrounds, like many universities, and the student maintenance loan last year increased by only 2.4%, and we know inflation was way above that. And it means that they are having to work more to support themselves. They're missing out on things. So, for example, the volunteering I mentioned, a lot of students are finding they can't volunteer because they have to spend the time working. So we've created a fund that will help them and give them some time to volunteer. Many students still have to live at home, so we've provided that they can come in and stay in halls of residence for free sometimes, so they can participate in other events. But it's just made life a lot harder, and all the surveys of students across the country have highlighted the fact that they are really struggling, many of them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's certainly a time where they're feeling the pinch, the support that they're able to garner from families as well, who have perhaps been able to make up the difference in the past, is a difficult area as well, which, as you say, requires them to take jobs during term time, which can have an impact on their studies. Moving then to the sort of the STEM environment, and as a woman in STEM yourself, the first woman to lead University of Manchester or either of the precursor institutions, how have you seen the gender balance in the world of STEM and academia change during your career? And what would you say to young women who wish to follow a similar career path?
So it has changed quite significantly. but still slowly. We're still behind, and it varies quite a lot between different STEM subjects. In my area, in biology, there's always been a higher proportion of women. In some areas of science and engineering, less so. But I'm very pleased that our former head of probably what's the biggest school of engineering in the country was female. When she stood down, actually, we now have another female leading the School of Engineering. So it is changing, and I would certainly say to younger women who want to pursue a career in STEM, you will probably get huge amounts of support. I found great support from both male and female mentors. And the other thing I often say is, even if you're in a small minority, that can be an advantage, because if you're in a room with a lot of men, often in grey suits, and you're one of very few women, you get remembered. And actually, you are. One of the problems is you're asked to do more because there are relatively few. So one of the problems I've faced is, no, I can't do that. And you know that they want to get more women represented. But, half of my senior leadership team are women. But it's still slow, and there are still difficulties, not least a research career is pretty tough, and taking breaks is pretty tough, although much better than it used to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the things that you mentioned there was around mentorship, and I think that is a real positive that that those who've kind of sort of trodden this path already can look back and help and support. Is there anything in particular that you'd like to sort of say to encourage people to take part in mentoring and supporting the kind of the generations that are coming along behind?
Yeah, it's hugely rewarding, mentoring. It's something that, you put a bit of time in and you get a lot back when you see many survive. It's a bit like, I've supervised over 50 PhD students, and seeing that many of whom are women, and seeing their success is incredibly, it makes you feel very good, and many of them I stay in contact with. I'm currently mentoring a group as part of something called 100 Black Women Professors, and this is for Black female staff, and I took part of the programme last year, and I'm taking part in it this year with about 8 of our staff who are early in their academic careers, and advising them and supporting them and suggesting ways they can, and also about how you make difficult choices, because in your career quite often there are choices to be made, both within work. Do I take on this extra role? Will it help me, or will it just hinder me? And between work and home, and how you make those choices. And if I can help them a little bit, then that will be as rewarding for me as I hope it might be for them.
It's nice, isn't it, to see these sort of programs that are kind of pulling that support together and creating peer groups as well, because the support from mentors is really important, but also that peer-to-peer support, and knowing you're not the only one is really important as well. So yeah, on behalf of that, thank you for the time and effort that you put into that, because I'm sure it's enormously valued. So finally, obviously the last question, Nancy, you're stepping down this summer, which is going to be an exciting change for you. So what do you see next as far as the sort of things that will continue to keep you busy? Because I imagine that's something that's very important to you.
Yes, although I'm not going to be taking on another full-time job, I'm certainly not going to be just doing the gardening. So I have offered to continue to support the university in a number of ways, and obviously a very important year for the University of Manchester this year. We've just started our 200th anniversary celebrations, and that will continue all year, and I'll be taking part in various events beyond my tenure, but also I've discussed with my successor, Duncan Iverson, about continuing to help. I've also considering various other roles, particularly to help Manchester and to help science nationally, I think. So at the moment, I've just been turning things down, but I'm now starting to think about things, mainly because of timing. This is a very busy time for the next 7 months, so I couldn't possibly take on anything major during that time, but I am now starting to think about things afterwards.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time today. Obviously, we wish you every success as you continue with the next chapter of your career. Do enjoy this last phase of your time with Manchester, and as you say, with the 200th celebrations, that's there's some really exciting things to take part in as we move through the year. Thank you for your time, Nancy, and again, huge congratulations on winning the Outstanding Achievement Award from the Times Higher Education.
Well, thank you for the award. It was a great honour.